everyone, Justine Leslie here, intuitive reader and teacher, and I am back for the weekly, so February 2020, the first week of a romantic reading. I have the spread right out in front of me. If you guys have been following me, you know how I read, right? So basically I read one by one, and I've already have the spread out here, and basically I'm going to start with the different connections. I'm going to read by different connections, and I'm going to start with I start with a karmic relationship. I go to the second one, which is twin flame. Then I do soulmate, and then I have a reading for anybody that identifies as single out there, right? Guys, the different connections they all have similarities. I always find it super important to figure out what kind of connection you're in, to really kind of figure out basically the mission of the relationship, even though I feel like all the connections are a mission and everything is just a mirror, right? So I go into a little bit about the different connections as I read, if you're not super sure on what a twin flame, karmic relationship, or a soulmate relationship is, but I will kind of piece together is what I'm looking for as I read, to let you guys know. So it's great if you know the kind of connection that you're already in. If you don't, that's okay. Again, like I said, I'll piece it together. I also have a reading where we can figure that out. If you want a book, I always put my link in this I guess you could say post, or the body of this. It's a Calendly link, so you can book some time with me. It's a twin flame, soulmate, and karmic relationship reading. So definitely look into that. All right, so first things first, again, let's start with the karmic relationship, which tends to be a relationship that's not supposed to last, but it's really supposed to mirror some unhealed wounds of yours. So, and these are actually pretty common. I've already had two, they're very interesting, but tend to be up, down, and very tumultuous, right? You can stay with your karmic relationship if you want. I see people for long periods of time, but it's usually never harmonious at all. Okay, so first things first. Ooh, interesting one. Fertility. Okay, so a couple of things are coming up for this. So basically it's saying, usually fertility is the birth of something new. So a couple of things are coming through with this. Number one, something new is coming to light with the relationship. Could be the lesson, could be identifying behaviors of the other person. Usually, how do I say this? Usually things tend to unfold more once you guys get closer. So this is identifying to me that these are karmic relationships where you're almost like peeling the layers, and you're almost at a place where you're like starting to realize that it's not exactly the best relationship to be in. So it's almost like, and this is because of new information that you have uncovered by peeling this onion. So it's almost like something is telling me that the man, so the divine masculine, right? The divine masculine in the connection is revealing more and more of himself to you, but you're starting to realize that it's not exactly aligned with your values or who you are as a person. This is also indicating, I'm going very literal with this card, fertility. I want to say, and I'll get right down to it, please use protection if you're divine feminine with this relationship. Now, yeah, I'm talking about protection sexually, right? Because you are extremely fertile at this time. This relationship is not steady enough to bring into life into this world. That's the message that I'm getting. So it's really, and especially divine feminines, if you want to have kids, it's so important that the relationship is the foundation. Having a child does not fix a relationship. Having a child only will put more strain on the already tumultuous relationship. So again, I don't know, I should have said this in the very beginning. I'm only the messenger, and I only communicate what I interpret, and this is what I'm interpreting. So, and sometimes we hear what we need to hear, not necessarily what we want to hear. And so if you're divine feminine and you want to have children because it feels like more of the divine feminine, this is not the best relationship to have children with. Again, and it's tying together, right? We're starting to figure out the divine feminine does not have what we need for a partnership. this partnerships, these partnerships in general are usually attached to extreme sexual attraction, which makes a lot of sense why fertility card came up, right? So definitely keep that very mindful. I know sometimes when we're in it we can't see it, but we need to be, something tells me you'll be pulling back from this relationship now that you've done the onion, right? You've unpeeled some of the layers, right? Let's see what the second one is here. Right. So we have the winter card. And usually what the winter card means is take care of your needs. So that is a retraction, and that is a time of recharge, basically, a retraction and a time of recharge. So basically it's saying like take care of your needs. So as you start to pull back this onion, like I said, you're going to start to realize like, oh my gosh, I don't want to put all of my energy and all of my time into this relationship because I'm very unsure about it. I don't know if this is going to work out. So basically those thoughts are very very much real, and it's important that we pull back and that we spend more time on our own needs, so we can make sure that we're in a better place, so we don't pick partners like this anymore, right? This is a big thing, right? Some of us spend lifetimes and have to go through these lessons over and over. I already told you I had 2 karmic relationships, okay? So it can repeat itself, but it's so important that we step back from this, and really take a look, from an objective perspective, and an unbiased perspective, and really take care of us. It's time for us to put our needs first, in this relationship. More than likely not, a divine feminine has put more into the relationship than the divine masculine, but whichever. It's usually more of the divine feminine, like I said, but it can be the divine masculine as well. Whoever is putting more of the needs into the relationship, and whoever is discovering that it's the other person is maybe not being truthful, or maybe the person is discovering that it's not the best relationship for them, that person needs to step back, okay, and concentrate on their own needs. Okay, so we have peace offering, we have white buffalo calf woman, and basically what's coming through here is that peace offering. So there's going to be peace. So it's almost like I feel like the person that's stepping back is not going to be communicative about stepping back. Like it's almost like it's separate and it's secretive in a way, because you just want the peace. And that makes a lot of sense because, like I said, a lot of these relationships are push-pull, and it's really, really tough to have it be harmonious. So it makes sense of why you would want to pull back, and make it more peaceful for you, as you start to reflect, right? And reflect and recharge. So basically what I'm getting is more of like the divine feminine not exactly telling the divine masculine that they're pulling back, because obviously peace is needed, right? So that's what I'm getting. Again, can the roles be reversed? Yes. But again, that's what I'm really feeling is like the divine feminine is the one pulling back, okay? Okay. Twin flames. Here we go. Twin flames are very simple. They're like a hybrid of both the soulmate and the karmic relationship. So they both feel like, so it feels like it can be harmonious, but then it could be karmic at the same time. Not as tumultuous as the karmic, because the karmic can fit into the categories of emotional abuse and all that stuff, to a very abusive, not so great place, okay? But the twin flame, not so much. Can people mess up and cheat and things like that? Absolutely. But, we're all human. It seems to be a little bit more harmonious. So let's see what it says here for the week. Okay, Stargazer, set your sights higher. So basically what's coming through is actually individuals. So this actually is telling me that a lot of twin flames are not in union this week, that are spending time apart, whether that means that they're more independent than they are, they have moved out, they have separated, they're not together, something along those lines. Because this is actually speaking to an individual. Like, it's like I see separateness, like I really do, and it's like talking to each other, like higher powers talking to each other separately, basically. So, and what that message is that setting your sights higher, like both parties have been playing small, and this actually means more career-wise. So basically what's happening here is that career-wise or passion purpose-wise, both of you are playing small, and this has caused friction in the union, which means that that might have caused fights because you guys are both unhappy in what you're doing for a living, or unhappy at your job, or very confused on purpose or passion or something along those lines. But that actually, not saying it caused the separation, but more of it caused the turmoil within the relationship. So it's good that you guys are actually separate and not in union right now, because it feels like you need to do your own personal work in figuring all of that stuff out first before you can get back in union. If you are currently in union with your twin flame, it feels like you're still going through those same issues, and that's okay. You have decided to stay together. However, the recommendation is that it's really kind of be as independent as you possibly can to figure that stuff out, because that is one of the things that is important for any type of relationship, right? We need to have our own lives, and we need to be happy with who we are as a person solo, before somebody actually comes into our lives. So again, it's okay if you're not in separation, but again, it might be smoother, and it might be a quicker route, for example, to kind of get there when you guys are by yourselves. Hopefully that makes sense. Let's see what else comes up for you for the twin flames here. Right, so very similar, right? Priorities, King Solomon here. What are your priorities? Are your priorities figuring out your passion and your purpose? Are your priorities getting a new job? Are your priorities to make more money? That is okay that is your priorities this week. That is actually what you need to focus on. Again, whether you're in union or not, that is the main focus. It will be easier if you're not in union, but again, easier and quicker. Independent thinking, for example, instead of having like we all value, when we're in a relationship, our partner's opinions and things like that, but not having those is actually beneficial in this particular union at this particular time. Okay, so Stag, trust and thrive. So this is actually pointing to the divine masculine. What I'm actually getting from this is that the divine masculine is going to be thriving a little bit more than the divine feminine. And that's okay, right? So what did I say before? That by being in separation, you can get there quicker. But it seems like the divine masculine has a one up on you a little bit, and that doesn't mean that they're ahead of you. They're just getting there quicker. Does that make sense? Let me see if I can explain that a little bit better. It's almost like for example, you're both working on yourselves in your career, and I can see the divine masculine getting a promotion first, right? I could see you're both working on separate businesses, and the divine masculine, hits his first 10K month before you do, or something like that. Anything along those lines. It seems like he has a one up on you, and that's okay, right? Because you guys will meet each other there. But it just feels like the divine masculine might be thriving a little bit before you, and that is totally okay. Just do not let the ego get in the way. It's all good, right? It's exactly how it's intended to be. Okay, what do we have here? Okay. So this is soulmate relationship, right? And soulmate relationships tend to be a little bit more harmonious, right? And they usually teach us self-love, and they're usually a really good reflection, not necessarily on wounds. And there's not really a connection on wounds. It's actually genuine, authentic, conscious love, right? So here we go. Go now. So basically what's happening here is that I almost feel like there is, and I don't even want to call it conflict, but it almost feels like in general, as the collective consciousness for soulmate relationships, one person has to go away and then the other person is home. Now, what could this mean? This could mean 1,000 different things, including they have to travel for work a lot, and it's really been bothering you, or they got a job 2 hours away and have to be a long distance relationship, but maybe it's temporary, because I actually don't see it as being something that is permanent. But it almost feels like there's like this letting go, but not of the relationship. It's just letting go of it's almost like of the physical body. So it's almost like I said, long distance relationship, somebody has to travel more for work or something like that. Yeah, it annoys you and you're not super happy about it, but because the relationship is so bonded on authentic and genuine conscious love, it feels really okay to let them go. guys, if you really love someone, you let them go. I mean, I know it's cliche to say, but I don't know how else to say it, but it's true. So it's almost like you're letting them go. And again, it doesn't feel like they're letting go of the relationship. It feels like you're letting go of how it used to be, or physical closeness or something along those lines. But it's okay. And it almost feels like the universe is doing this to kind of test us a little bit, where it's like, how strong is this connection? Can it survive a 2-hour drive? Things like that are coming up. So definitely keep that in mind. You've got this. The connection is strong. If you are having a little resistance about letting this go, this is the week to let it go, okay? And accept. Okay, so this is for you. This is coming through with Divine Feminines. Medicine Guardian, be open to healing information. Feels like the female really needs to do some energy healing, some healing on her own. That this may make sense if the other partner, the Divine Masculine, is the one that's going away, is that you'll have more time for yourself. So this is actually almost mirroring the karmic relationship, but this is actually more about the relationship separating and like creating that barrier there. From the Divine Feminine. There's still that connection here with the soulmate, the genuine connection, right? But do you see the difference though? By the way, can I point this out? The karmic relationship can be easily separated, right? Because it's usually based on ego love as opposed to conscious, authentic love. So basically, not even distance can kind of break the barrier here with the soulmates, but emotional distance is something that could definitely break the karmic relationship, and it's almost like an easier decision in a way. This is a stronger bond that is harder to break. And actually, the karmic relationship is a stronger bond in the physical, right? Not so much the emotional, right? Especially when we start realizing that some of the emotional is really just emotional abuse and trauma bonds that we're connected to, right? So this feels like there just needs to be additional healing. This may help you with more acceptance, letting go, that kind of thing. I don't know if you guys saw my weekly reading, but that seems like the theme of the week is that we're moving into more of a place of acceptance, letting go, all of that stuff. So soulmates, concentrate on you, and be open to any new healing that comes your way this week. Okay. Okay, work your magic. So I actually have 2 things coming up for this particular week in the soulmate connections. I'm feeling like the message is work with what you know to be true, and work your own magic, where it's basically saying go within and not necessarily what you need to heal. You're working on your healing, but it's more about use what you know you have. It's almost like using natural skills, using your natural intuition, using your magic, work your magic for you, not necessarily the relationship. Again, it feels like the relationship is stepping out physically. So this is like a lot of self-improvement, and again, it feels like the divine on the Divine Feminine side. Now, what else is coming through here? I usually talk about Divine Feminine and Divine Masculine as energies. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to mean a female and a male in a relationship. What I'm actually getting from this week as like an additional message is that any LGBTQ relationships, soulmate relationships are thriving this week. I don't know where that came from. It came pretty randomly, but it's coming through with this card. But any of those types of connections are extremely strong this week. So I don't know if anything's happening in the community or within the relationship that is affecting that connection, but I just felt like I needed to, again, I'm the messenger. I just felt like I needed to communicate that out to you guys. So awesome. All right, now for the single people. Now, can I take a sip of my coffee? All right, what's going on for you if you're single this week? Okay, so we have Trader. So exchange energy to create abundance. Okay, so what's happening here? This is actually a direct focus on yourself. And what I mean by that is that we are as a single person, you are concentrating too much on getting into a relationship. More about obsessive thoughts, like I see the mind overworking a little bit. And that could be you're meeting people and you are romanticizing it, but it's just not a good way to go. So it's almost like the universe is coming through and pretty much saying like, put your energy elsewhere to create abundance. So the more you don't focus on it, the better. And I know that sounds weird, right? But anybody who's a master manifester knows that we can't be so concentrated on love so much, because if we hold really, really tight, we're not in flow state, and we cannot let things kind of flow through, right? And that includes partners. So you're holding a little bit too tight. Your mind is going a little bit out there, and romanticizing and creating scenarios in your head and things like that. So it's time for you to pull back, really put your energy towards more creative pursuits, and creating more abundance in your life, not pertaining to love. Just do anything but that. If that means taking a break from dating this week, great. Go for that, and then do a more creative pursuit instead of your usual date night, right? Focus on that. That will create more abundance in your life in general, and then also when it comes to your love life, okay? Okay. Father, husband, brother, son. What's coming up? Guys, I'm talking to you, divine feminines, okay? I'm talking about the feminine energy here needs to start healing the divine masculine. And like I said before, I don't always mean females. I mean the divine masculine in us. A man has feminine energy. We all have to have a balance for us to actually be a full-formed human being. We need both in our lives. And basically what's happening here is that we need to look at ourselves, again, this is for single people, is to look at ourselves and how we relate to the divine masculine. Do we have issues with our divine masculine? So that can mean energy as far as as far as your doing goes, or your logical self, or your analytical self. Like, are you actually neglecting that part of yourself and not integrating it? Take a look at that. Definitely feels like it could be directly related to a relationship with your father, son, past husband, male friends, whatever it is. Look at how you relate from the divine feminine perspective to any masculine energies in your life. This could mean, again, a man trying to take a look at his, in his feminine side and seeing how that could affect his masculine, and then seeing the relationships that are masculine around him, how that's affecting the integration within him. That takes a very conscious man to look at, by the way. So if you are looking at that and you're a man, thumbs up here. So yeah, take a look at that, guys. Masculine energy. Okay, so arrow, here we go. Surround yourself with protective energy. What does this mean? This means go to where it's safe. There's going to be a lot of uncovering of, part of it is, again, figuring out and relating to your masculine side, but also it's going to, it's not all, I'm saying a lot of this stuff as it's like super easy. It's not easy, guys. Healing of any kind is not easy. I know I'm saying it like it's nothing, but this may be a really hard week for you dealing with that. And there's a reason why a lot of people choose not to heal, because this stuff is painful, okay? It's really painful. And that's why people don't feel their feelings, right? It's painful. So arrow, surround yourself with protective energy. It seems like there could be some uncomfortable feelings coming up this week that are relating to the masculine energy. So really take a look at that and make sure that you're putting yourself in a safe place. And guys, if your safe place is by yourself and with God, universe, however you want to say it, divine energy, source, however, that's fine. That's totally fine. But you got to be in a safe place. You have to be in a safer place. So definitely surround yourself this week with a place that feels safe. And whether it's a place that you usually get your energy healing, a therapist, or yourself with God, right? And it's completely up to you, but your safe space, okay? Okay, so interesting week for a lot of our love connections. Oh, sorry about the glare, guys. It's just coming through. But thank you guys so much for letting me read the energy of the collective consciousness. Hopefully this resonated. If it did, please put a comment down below, and please subscribe to get weekly readings from myself, and I will see you guys next week with the romance reading, okay? Have a wonderful, beautiful week, and see you then. Bye.